The magic win for Court Cousins night, and my voice already just went out and we just started the recap video. Wendell Carter Jr. in thrilling fashion, doing big man things with the putback. The Pistons lose to our Orlando Magic 106-108. Man, you take over because I now need to get some water and it's across the room.
Unbelievable, the voice loss on this guy right now. Might have been fan of the game from a yelling standpoint. Wow. You left it all in the stands.
I did. Thank you.
Which is impressive.
Wow.
Anyone who watched our podcast should know that if you bet the over on the drinks, obviously that number hit.
It was disrespectful too.
In
retrospect,
what
was it 7.5? And I'm not. This isn't my first rodeo. It's not like I counted, but I know I got well over that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't plan on us pre-gaming the pregame, so I got about 3 or 4 behind.
Shout out to Raph and Meg.
And yeah, which was great. I'm loving that we did that. The entire day in itself could be its own wrap-up video.
Yeah.
Are we wrapping up the game or wrapping up the Court
Cousins night? A little bit of both.
2 different things.
A little bit of both.
But yeah, it was a great experience from beginning of the day all the way through. Meeting up at the bar ahead of time with everybody before we went in. Handed out some stuff for raffle prizes, which we'd end up giving away a lot of jerseys. And
Jess gave us a signed ball by the whole team that we gave away, which was crazy.
I put a picture up of that on our Instagram if you want to check it out.
Yeah, so shout out. I guess we will shout out everyone came through. Those folks, Andy and the homie with the vintage magic, Bryce and the fam came through. Ian and Kyle from California. Ian won the ball. Came all the way from Cali for Court Cousins night. That's diehard.
They won the tickets on the podcast from the podcast, and then we gave away, and then they decided to come. And then after we came and put you down because my man goes to bed early. I met back up with them at Sportstown, which is a great local hangout. I think it's one of the oldest bars in Orlando. It's a cool spot. Met up with Kenny and his girl over there. Played some games. It was a good time.
Hell yeah!
It was a good little after party. So it was a full day.
And Kyle is a Golden State Warriors fan. He was present about that. He was just there with his boy Ian. But after the game, he said now he's on the Magic.
This is East Coast team, he says.
Yeah, this is his East team. So we're doing God's work out here, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting more Magic fans for the community. Okay. Rick, Vietnam vet, came through. Jerry came through last minute. Alex and his lady. And, of course, Yachty was in the building. I'm sorry if I missed anyone, but what a good time. Thank you, everyone, for coming through. It was a tremendous experience. Everyone had a great time. Shout out to Jess, our ticket agent. Let us know if you need help with group sales. He hooked it up big time.
They gave us some tickets to give away. People at the end as well. It was great from start to finish. Got to cut down the net.
What a game! And we were talking about
this. What a game to see. The whole thing.
It's no fun to cut down the net in a loss.
Yeah, you talked about that in the third. I think that was one of the things you tried to yell when your voice was going out. And but yeah, they got the dub, and it's hard to write a better script for our night and our fans and of the Magic and of this podcast. So thanks to you if you've watched, clicked like, subscribed, told a friend, done anything. I love it. We're starting to put these stickers again all over town and giving them to people. So hopefully you'll see it and you'll be like, hey, I know that show. So
yeah. Let's do a little bit of game.
Well, let's talk about the game.
A little bit of game. What do we want to talk about first?
The first quarter, the first half.
Yeah,
I felt like we outplayed them,
and we were only up by like one.
But like up by one at halftime. And it was one of those things where it was like the 3-point shooting, as it did even in the second half, that kept the Pistons in the game.
I'll give you that stat right now, Peach. They went 50% from 3.
But even at halftime, they were right around 50%. And it was really just like, they weren't like running a lot of great plays or anything. They were just kind of like finding a way to run isolation, and then a guy would hit a 3. Like their 3-pointers were really what made them, it could have been way worse after the first half. So it was a weird feeling because it's like you don't want to let those teams stick around, especially when they're shooting the 3-ball well. And that would end up playing into the end of the game as well. Yeah. But, it just didn't feel it. And then in the third quarter, guys came out hot, which, rare. Usually third quarter is bad for us, but they found a way to really kind of turn it on. But then, again, the Pistons 3-point shooting kind of pulled it in. Alec Burks.
Let's start that, yes.
Come on, bro. Like, you're Alec Burks. Like, you need to chill. Like, he needs to chill. Like,
when he plays us.
Why is he so good against the Magic?
4 shots. He had 4, not 4 shot attempts, but 4 for 4 from the field. All 4 of those 3-pointers. 16 points because he gets to the line a couple times and knocks down some shots. Really, Alec Burks?
Wouldn't have taken him out of the game in the second half if I was the Pistons. I'd have been like, you're playing. You're playing until you physically can't play anymore. Stay out there.
Well, that was what's interesting. Their bench was plus, and ours was minus tonight.
Right.
And our starters were plus big, and their starters were minus. Our biggest plus was Markelle Fultz, who had a freaking fantastic game again. I don't have his numbers here in front of me, but he was fourth quarter Fultz in full effect. Definitely.
I don't have his fourth quarter numbers, but I have his overall numbers.
What were his overall numbers?
He had 14 points, 8 assists, 2 boards.
Love to hear 8 assists.
A block and 2 steals.
There was that one, I think that was maybe in the third quarter, or maybe it was in the fourth. He came back in. He got he hit a bucket. He got to the hole and then stole it from Jaden Ivey and went for that breakaway dunk. And the crowd went amplified, baby.
Yeah.
That was great. I mean, we were sitting next to some Pistons fans. Shout out to Jonathan, who was sitting next to me. Good homie. We were, going back and forth, ribbing. You love that in the sports arena. When it can stay civil, you're sitting next to someone who clearly knows his team. And yeah, he was aware of Markelle Fultz, but he was even impressed to see how good he was in person. Definitely people are coming around to Markelle, and that's an interesting conversation that's been happening in the community. We talked about it. People go back and forth on Markelle. I think everyone loves him, but some people are like, yeah, but I don't know. And you see it in these moments. He's clutch. He's big time. He's the leader of the team. As Markelle goes, so go we.
Yeah. For me, honestly, there were a few. There wasn't a ton of Pistons fans there. There were more than I thought.
Right.
And there was a bunch in our little area. And, when I travel 1,000 miles to see my team play a home game, I don't want to sit next to fans of the other team because normally I'm them. I'm watching our team on the road, right?
Yep,
so I know what to do. And I usually kind of do what they were doing, which is, keep it respectful, keep it quiet. If somebody wants to jaw a little bit, I'll jaw because we're having fun. But you're right. Those were good opposing fans, and their kids were getting into it with you, which was fun. You were having a good time with it.
A young man, he was great. He was probably 9 or 10 max. Maybe fourth grade, something like that, third or fourth grade. And his dad was a hardcore Pistons fan, and his dad was sitting down the aisle, and you could just see that father-son bonding over basketball. Yeah. And even though they were Pistons fans, we were having a good time. So it was great. Obviously happy that we got the victory. I don't hope the young man didn't cry. I didn't see at the end.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sure that the young man is not watching, but I'm telling you, when I look at this Pistons team, you're missing obviously supposed to be one of your better players in Cade Cunningham.
We have no sympathy though.
No, we don't. But this is the point I'm going to make is that I feel like the Pistons are us last year
because of the Cade
there's some
injury,
expectations that they could probably hit next year. They could be in our spot where they're like challenging for a play-in and making that turn. Yeah, if everything is healthy and good. So they definitely have a good seed in the ground for their own growth flower. Okay. Because Jaden Ivey played super well in this game.
Peach doesn't hand out growth flowers easily either.
I don't, but I like what they're building there. Yeah. 25 points from Ivey, including that three-pointer to tie it up at the end of the game.
Spectacular game. But he did miss 2 free throws.
He did.
In the downward last couple of minutes of the fourth, which ended up costing the game. Sure. Ice cold Franz goes down, nails 2. Jaden Ivey doesn't. That's the difference in the game, Jaden. Sorry you had a spectacular game, young man, but didn't hit those buckets when it counted, and that kind of ended up costing him.
He's in his rookie season, so these are the kind of lessons and learns you're going to get all the way.
And you could tell they were missing they were missing a ball handler, and that's Cade Cunningham for them. Mm-hmm. Killian Hayes handling the ball, giving me RJ Hampton vibes, dog.
That's definitely
and they just got RJ Hampton, so it's not going to help. It's not going to help. It's just a guy who should be able to be he's a 2 guard, and you're asking him to be a point guard, and it's just not enough. To be fair, as Coach Mosley said in his post game interview, we were harassing them 92 feet of the floor. Yeah. When they got the ball inbounded, whether it was Kel or Gary or Jalen or whomever on the ball handler, Franz sometimes, we were letting them feel our presence on the defensive end of the game, on the other side of the ball, all the way down the court. And that's what kept us in the game because we didn't shoot great. I mean, we shot 38% from 3. That's okay. We shot 41% from the field, though. That's horrible. And when the other team shoots 50%, well, we've got to beat them on the boards. We did, but only by 1, 46-45.
Well, it wasn't in the first half. In the second half, we started to rebound more, and the defense intensity picked up. So that definitely was.
Hey, that one rebound, That's the one we needed at the end of the game by Wendell, the rebound and the putback. That's
true.
That one right
That's
there.
True. That's true.
So that one, even though it's not a big difference that we like to see when we're winning games, it was the most important rebound, and we dominated the paint, 44-26. If we're losing, if someone's shooting 50% from beyond the arc, we damn well better be dominating the paint, and we did. And we got a lot more shots than they did, too. We got 14 more shots in the game than them. We forced 21 turnovers to their 14. So we definitely won this game with defense and won this game by being big bodies down low. What else you got? Isaac at 16 minutes, Peach.
I know, right? So it's good to see him in there more. I think one of my amazing stats of this game is that, Cole Anthony had a good line off the bench, 15 points, 4 assists, 4 boards, but was a minus 15.
Well, I think that's just Alec Burks and Amadou Diallo.
What's amazing, he scores 15 points.
And you get
and still be minus 15 is my point.
Yeah.
I was like, that's difficult
crazy
to do.
And I think that was just Alec Burks being on the floor at the same time.
Also, if I'm being honest, it's 4 of 13 from Paulo, 5 of 13 from Wendell.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, Magic fans.
Even Fultz at 6 of 14. Like, the ball just wasn't falling. It just looked a little rusty early on. In the first, there was a lot of shots that were falling short.
Yeah.
Hitting the front of the rim, and that's the kind of stuff you expected a team that's tired. It's almost like they hadn't quite got up to game speed. The second half felt completely different, but the first half just looked a little slow.
Yeah.
But
hopefully that gets turned around.
At halftime, it was Apollo had 2 points or something like that.
Yeah.
He didn't have many, and it was sort of like you need to find a way to get the ball into your playmakers and your handlers. And sometimes we kind of go away from Franz and Paulo, almost like we have to spread it around. It's like you don't have to spread it around. Find whoever's hot that day, but find it earlier in the game. Let Paulo have 5 touches in the first quarter. Let Franz get it in. Let's see who's hot by the end of the game so we know who we want the ball in their hands with 4.5 to go. Obviously we chose a play where Paulo drives to the basket, which is fine. Really he's good at driving, so he got a good look. And Wendell smart enough to go rebound. So that's why you follow to the bucket right there to try to get those dubs.
Shit, baby.
And I have to imagine that was the backup plan.
Right.
Either him rolling, crashing, either rebounding, or he can just lob it.
Thought Markelle was going to be coming in for that.
But yeah, and
the history of that.
It is nice to have guys that you trust with the ball in their hands at the end of the game, right? Because I think we would trust Markelle or Franz or Paulo at that point with the, that effort. But I want to see a little bit more of that earlier in the game. I feel like there should be some times when Paulo, he's too kind with the ball. He likes to share, and he was putting up numbers in other categories, which is great.
Right.
And he's rebounding a lot better.
6 rebounds.
But
he's contributing to the game.
For sure. And he's positive all the way.
Yeah.
But sometimes I kind of want him to just be like, hey man, I need you to be a leader on this team in the point category more often.
Yeah.
But the shot's not falling, so I think he's just maybe a little he's like, oh, it's not falling for me today, so I'm not going to shoot it. And it's like, well,
it's tough because you see it. He did have a couple nice he did hit a couple jumpers.
Yep.
He did get some nice drives. He had a dunk. You see the whole arsenal, the whole toolkit is there.
Sure.
But it's just off. That one. Just like the layup at the end of the game, it was just slightly off. The jumper just slightly off, and those are going to fall. And so we're going to see this 11 points could have easily have been 18 points if he gets 3 more of those in a call or something. So I'm not worried about Paulo, but I think the conversation is healthy to have. Let's I'm sure he's down about his play too.
I mean, of his 13 shots, I would imagine most of those came in third or fourth quarter because he didn't have a ton in the first half. And that's kind of my point. Is we'll try to get him going earlier, get it cooking, get it. See if Franz has got the right angle off the glass tonight.
Franz had it all working tonight, man.
I mean,
Franz had it all working. He was crossing people up. He was cutting. He caught an alley-oop. He hit a couple threes. He was our highest point scorer, right? What did he end with?
21.
21. So big game from Franz. Apologies for the echoes and my voice, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing this here live in Orlando. Jonathan Isaac, he got the one training wheel taken off. When you're first line, you have on the bike, and you got both there. And then Pops takes one off, and you got to kind of just wobble back and forth between that side. That's where we are right now with J.I. 16 minutes. Right. But he looked good. He knocked down 2 threes. He had 10 points. 7 boards, 1 assist, 2 steals, and a block.
Yeah, your voice makes me want to clear mine, even though mine is good. But, it's weird. I don't have my Insta signs here, but just as a reminder for everybody. Oh. Just want to make sure that you keep cool, you keep calm. We're playing with house money right now, right? Like, if we make the playoffs, cool. If we make the play-in, cool, right? Like, but if we don't, better draft picks. Next year is the year where we're kind of want to have that
high expectation.
So remember to relax. And there's also an eat, pray, love sign over there, but I feel like it didn't apply. If J.I. had a better game, maybe we'd go with it.
All right. I think that's all from me, Pish. We're here in Orlando. Hit us up in the comments. Hit us up on socials. We're trying to hang. We're trying to go to a card shop, but we don't have a car right now. We're trying to figure that out with the rental shop. We'll see what happens. And we're going to the game on Saturday. So we'd love to meet up with as many of you as are around and want to. Let us know where you should go. Maybe Harry Buffalo, maybe somewhere else. Maybe we'll do some hopping around.
At the Buff, but
yeah. All right. Well, we hope to see you all. Thanks for viewing. Like, subscribe, feed the algorithm overlord, and we'll see you soon, everyone. Peace.
Thanks for coming.